In 5, 4, 3, yes, 2, and I'm looking at myself backwards in the mirror while I talk to myself. 1. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the fifth session of the Real Estate Social Rockstar Show. I have Italina here with me on the show. This is going to be a killer show. Italina, thank you so much for getting on board and joining me in the show. How you doing?
Awesome. I'm doing great. It's Monday. I'm ready to rock.
Well, I am ready to rock with you, and so is everyone else that is watching this now, that is listening to this now, and that's going to be checking this out later. I wanted to first quickly introduce what our show is about and then ask you to share a little bit about yourself. So what we are going to be talking about on this show is how people can grow their real estate business using LinkedIn. So I was fortunate enough to be at Inman, to be another speaker at Inman, and got to see you speaking there. I know that you are a LinkedIn social whiz. And so I was really honored, and I'm excited. And what I'm particularly excited about right now is that I know a lot of stuff about social. You know, I do a lot of things out there. I got this show, blah, blah. But when it comes down to LinkedIn, I have a lot to learn. And so I'm really looking forward to this show because I'm going to really learn a lot while everyone else does as well. So once again, thank you for being on the show. If you could please give us a little bit of an introduction about yourself.
Sure. My name is Italina. I'm the real estate community's online presence expert and speaker. I give over 40 talks a year on this subject, specifically of leveraging LinkedIn in particular, because most real estate agents are on that platform, but just aren't maximizing it for their real estate business. Most likely we're just accepting connection requests and endorsements, and there's so much more we can do. So that's my specialty, and that's what I had the honor of sharing at the Inman conference.
Awesome. Well, thank you for sharing. So I'm going to dig in here if you don't mind, because we're going to, in a short period of time, try to learn as much as we can from you. So I want to start out with first question here is, what are the biggest mistakes? Let's start off with what people can correct right away. What are the biggest mistakes that you see real estate agents making while using LinkedIn?
Sure. That's easy. Number one, not using it. So
okay.
There are real people on LinkedIn. And the fact is, when you're out as a real estate agent, whether you're at an awesome event like the Inman conference and you're collecting all those business cards, what do you do next? Okay, maybe you enter them into your CRM. But one huge mistake that I notice agents make is they just don't connect with those people for whatever reason on LinkedIn as well. Maybe they'll friend them on Facebook. Maybe they're entering them in their email database, but they're not connecting with them on LinkedIn. And that's just another opportunity to further build the relationship, to further allow people to become familiar with you and your brand, because we know people want to do business with those that they are familiar with, and have that sense of trust.
Gotcha. So number one is actually just go out and start using it.
Yeah.
So now an agent says, okay, and I'm going to listen to this advice because, you're talking about, and I'm going to go and I'm going to start connecting with people on LinkedIn. What are things that agents maybe should be focusing on when using LinkedIn to get the most out of it, other than just clicking connect?
Yeah. So then the next step further is, let's say you are doing that. You're like, oh yeah, Talina, I connect with everyone on LinkedIn. Well, then what are you doing next? So we have to further engage. So an example of further engaging is when you receive a connection request, for example. Talk to them. Say, oh, it's so cool of you to connect with me here on LinkedIn. Would be happy to set up a phone chat with you, right? Have a conversation, delve in, see what their needs are, and you may get a lead out of it. You may get a referral source out of it. Maybe they're hugely connected and can be a great resource to you. You can be a resource to each other, but you don't know unless you have a conversation, right?
Mm-hmm. So number one, hit the connect.
Mm-hmm.
Number two is actually don't just hit connect, but have a conversation. People were asking me at Inman, what are some of the biggest takeaways that I got while I was at the event? When I wasn't speaking, I was listening to great people like you talk. And one of the things that you said on stage there was you said that when you connect with people on LinkedIn, you shouldn't just hit connect. If somebody connects with you, this is what you said. If somebody connects with you on LinkedIn, don't just hit accept, but say, hey, I'd like to get to know you. Tell me about yourself.
Totally.
You reply. And that stuck to me as like one of the big takeaways from the event. So thank you for that.
Totally. You know, it's really funny is I made it a point when I was on the main stage there to simply focus on one takeaway, and that was the takeaway. When you receive a connection request, I'm glad you got it. A, you got an A. You're an A student. And when you receive a connection request, especially from someone you don't know, who you haven't met, instead of just getting pissed off, like, oh, why is this person I don't even know connecting with me on LinkedIn? Say hi. Thank you for connecting. What made you want to connect? Right? And then you got that conversation started. You may very well get someone who says, hey, I see you're a realtor and an agent. We just relocated. We'll love to be able to connect with you, see if we be a good fit. Let's have a coffee with you. Right? You can be missing out on leads and referral sources if you don't at least find out what that person is reaching out to you for.
So, question for you, right? So you meet somebody, you know, a lot of people now, they start on Facebook and or wherever, where they make their first connection. What is the value in doing it in LinkedIn
as well
versus Facebook or?
Sure. And I'm not saying versus, I'm saying in addition to. So first of all, in my opinion, marketing or relationship building, there's many forms of doing that. And you want all of them. I see marketing and your relationship building, your networking, your prospecting. I see that as a chair, and a chair has many legs. So you're on one of those legs, it might be face-to-face. On another one of those legs could be your print materials. Another one of those legs is your social media networking, right? So nothing is to take the place of the other. This is in addition to. And if we want to keep up with technology, it's just a simple fact. And this might lead to another mistake, is not utilizing LinkedIn, Facebook as a regular part of your lead generation system. Whatever system that is, not adding the technology or social networking to it, huge, and very fatal.
So now somebody is connecting and they're using it to connect with people, right? Is there anything that, outside of just connecting with people, different platforms have different special things. So like Facebook, for example, you can do targeting, and I can target, I don't know, a zip code, or I can target people that are moving, or I can do, different things, right? Mm-hmm. Outside of just hitting connect with someone on Facebook. Could you share maybe what are things that somebody might want to toy with LinkedIn?
Absolutely.
What are the ways they can leverage it somehow?
Absolutely. So just like on Facebook, you can actually create groups on LinkedIn. So you can tag on LinkedIn, they call it tags. So let's say you have your being here on the West Coast, a lot of the agents I work with there in the Contra Costa County area. So let's say you want to create your groups based on counties. You can certainly do that. Put them in that group. Or if you have a group that's solely realtors, you can certainly put them in a group. If you have a group that's prospects, put those people in a group. Group that's referral sources, put those people in a group. And then in your lead generation or prospecting or relationship building system, you are going to you can create a message to, again, just stay top of mind with your referral sources. Like, hey, it's been a while since we've had a chat. Would love to set up a coffee with you. You can blast that message to each and every single person in that, let's say, your referral sources group. And they think it's a personal message. It's a beautiful thing. And now you just sent out a mass message to everyone in your referral sources, and you guys are top of mind with each other.
So just a question, because I think something that might be applicable to all the people here. Of course, they want to group, prospects together. That'd be great. But sometimes also when you get a new listing, maybe you want to send it out to the agents in your marketplace to shoot out, hey, check out this listing that I have, and do it through LinkedIn. So you're saying that they can create a group. Is that something like they have to go person by person and say, are you a broker? Are you not an agent? And then group them? Is there some way to automatically do it?
So, what I call it, I say it's like making a stir fry. Sure, at first you got to wash all the vegetables, you got to chop them all up. But once it's all done, you're just throwing it in the wok, and it's like takes 2 seconds. So yes, you are going to want to go through and individually and like farm and go through and put people carefully in their respective groups.
Gotcha.
Is there some way like you're just shooting out messages and it's super fast?
Yeah. Well, like I imagine that you could probably search people by companies. Like if everybody works for, let's say, Meier Real Estate, my company, I can search for everybody that works at my company. Could I group them that way or not?
You totally can. Yeah.
Great.
So just like any kind of like Google search on LinkedIn, you can use that, their search engine, and you can type in the name of a company, whatever you like, even a keyword, a profession, and then everyone who has that on their profile will pop up for you in your search.
Yeah. You know, the thing that's really cool that at least I've experienced as a personal story is that I connect with people on a variety of different channels, but you know, I'm here in New York City, and there's a lot of finance people here, and there's, you know, which are heavily into LinkedIn. And so I'll put stuff on LinkedIn, and even though I actually put less stuff on LinkedIn, I need to get much better at this, and you're going to give me the ammunition and the drive to smack myself on the face and start doing it, right? So thank you for that. That hurt. But what I'm saying is that I've had people that connect with me and they're like, hey, I've been seeing you all the time. And I'm like, I go into Facebook and I'm not Facebook friends with them, and I'm not connecting them in any such platform. Then I go into LinkedIn and I'm like, oh, they're seeing my updates on LinkedIn. So I definitely see it as a platform that that's made me money.
Right. What's huge, and just kind of to touch like on the same page as what you just shared, Michael, real estate agents are really behind in utilizing this LinkedIn platform, but other people are there. So that means if you're one of the real estate agents who does go on, you're going to be seen. You're going to have a lot of visibility because there's not that saturation that exists on Facebook, for example, as far as real estate agents.
So now let's say I'm an agent and or I'm a broker, whatever. I bought what you're selling here. I bought it. I'm good. I need to do it. We need to go on LinkedIn. I need to do more stuff there. What are the types of activities that I want to be doing on LinkedIn? You know, walk me through maybe what is the day in the life of a LinkedIn power user. You know, we're not going to become power users today, but maybe if I get an idea of like, this is what a power user does on LinkedIn, I can start learning a little bit about I should copy these things.
Love that question. Happy to answer it. So first of all, you want to do your social networking during downtimes, meaning, you know, let's say you're up and getting ready to get on a computer by 6, 7 in the morning. Obviously, that's not a time that you're going to be making phone calls. Obviously, that's not a time that you're going to be attending any events. So number one, do your social networking during downtimes when it would be inappropriate for you to be calling people or at an event. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So during your downtime, you can be using this as your social networking time. So this looks like specifically, one, you've got connection requests. I know you do. For some of you out there who are not even using your LinkedIn at all, you maybe haven't even logged in. You've got that red circle that's in the top right-hand corner that shows all the messages and connection requests that have been waiting for you. There's a number in that red circle. You know what I'm talking about, right, Michael? Yeah, and for some,
no idea.
that number's in the triple digits. I mean, it's crazy. So first of all, I would say respond to those people. Maybe you choose to respond to like 10 people at a time until you get that number down. So just like, hi, thanks for connecting. What made you connect? So one, respond to your connection requests that are waiting for you or any pending messages. Next thing you want to do, anything, let's say you're going to share something on Facebook or on your Instagram for the day, just copy, paste that, and share it on your LinkedIn as well. Share some content on LinkedIn so you're putting yourself out there. Okay, that's something. Then, as you know, your posts are going to be driving traffic to you. They're going to be driving a lot of attention to your profiles. So let's make sure the profile is looking the way you want it to look. So I would say make sure your heading makes you look like a rock star, sets you apart from the other bajillion agents out there. Give an example. We're really big on when we redo the profiles for our agents, we make sure that the headings in there right away really sets them apart, like brands them, lets you know what's different about them right away. To give you an example, we just finished working on one of our agents' profile, and we put in his heading, socially responsible. And that was really important for them because they do a lot of community service, a lot of volunteering and donating and setting a portion of their commissions, etc. So they wanted that to be at the forefront. Now you might think that's not super unique, but guess what? when people go to their profiles, when other people who are really active and civil rights and volunteering and really into that, they're like, oh my God, I'm in love with this guy, right? So he's not trying to market to everyone. He's being really specific as far as his target group. So I would say, look at your profile and what do you want to put in there? What do you want people to know about you? Right? What do you want to be known for? So let's have the profile look really pristine, set you apart, make sure your contact info is clear, right? So that's those three things: responding to your connection requests, creating some content or sharing the content that you post on your other platforms on LinkedIn as well, and then make sure your profile really conveys who you are, what sets you apart. So those three things are like gold.
Gotcha. Awesome. And now I know that on LinkedIn, you can either stick something in a post where it's going to travel down your wall, or you can create like a blog. I may be getting the terminology wrong, or you can create the blog where it sits there. Yeah. So do you have any advice for agents when it comes down to how they will utilize, what's the most valuable thing they could do with regard to that?
With the blog specifically? Mm-hmm. So the blog is huge because, first of all, if you're already blogging like on your individual website, then you're half the battle's done. All you have to do is copy paste now and onto the LinkedIn blog. Why the LinkedIn blog is so huge is, first of all, LinkedIn is a bigger brand than your website. You're awesome. You're all awesome. Yes. LinkedIn is a bigger brand. So Google is going to give LinkedIn lots of love. Whatever blogs are on LinkedIn, Google's going to give it lots of love. So you're going to want to take advantage of the Google juice that LinkedIn provides, right? So you want to blog there. Let's say for me, for example, I only have a couple blogs on LinkedIn, but it's done wonders for me. So for myself, I want to be known as, for LinkedIn marketing, LinkedIn tips, online presence expert. So I make sure that those keywords, LinkedIn tips, networking, online presence, are in my blog. So that way, if anyone Googles online presence experts, LinkedIn marketing tips, LinkedIn video, networking via LinkedIn, whatever someone would Google, guess what shows up? My LinkedIn blog, my LinkedIn profile. I show up on the first page of that, all because I'm really leveraging LinkedIn's Google juice.
Gotcha. That's great. I know that when you create posts, and you can stick videos in them as well. You can put videos in your blog. So all that is really, really, really great stuff.
If I may, Michael,
yeah,
I just want to highlight again, the reason why it's such great stuff too is because you don't want only the people who know your name to find you. As an agent, if someone puts in Google's realtor and in your city, or realtor in your county, you want to come up. You want people who don't know you to find you as a business owner. So using this blog on LinkedIn is a great tool for helping those people who don't know you find you.
That is cool. One of the reasons I think that, at least for myself, I'd love your feedback on this. One of the reasons why some people, I think maybe agents, spend less time on LinkedIn is that prior to being in real estate, I used to sell software and I used to sell copying machines door to door. It was a B2B business thing. So like if I wanted to get into a certain company and sell them equipment and find out who's the purchasing manager, I'd go on LinkedIn and I'd find somebody that works for the company, and inside that person would refer me to someone else because I can, search through a company for people. And in real estate, it's a business to consumer. So you're not really going through a company to find someone, and you don't usually need to go to LinkedIn to find the wife or the husband or the partner of somebody. And those are the people involved in the decision. So are there other things maybe that are that you say, that's true, but I don't know, here is something else where I think LinkedIn could be good for real estate specifically? Or I know it's a difficult question, I'm kind of just throwing out there. But
no, it's fine. Actually, so first of all, I say it helps with your relationship building. So as soon as you get a lead, a prospect, a referral, you're going to want to connect with them on LinkedIn because, one, it's appropriate, it's a professional site. And then number two, it just gives them another way to feel comfortable with you. They're seeing you popping up. It builds that relationship. So now they're going to want to choose you over the competition. So that's number one. Number two, Let's say you, as for recruiting, it's great for recruiting. Number three, as an agent, you're wanting to find leads, people who want to get into a house, buyers and sellers. Well, guess what? Those people, those consumers, they're income earners, they're professionals who are on LinkedIn. So it's a great way to connect with consumers. So if you're looking to, instead of just waiting for people to send you connection requests, you can send out connection requests for someone doing a search based on their county, their city, their profession. I've seen real estate agents say, I love to work with law enforcement. I saw that someone actually put that on their profile, their header after the last podcast I did. I did a podcast with Greg McDaniel on Real Estate Uncensored, and they took the little star I have on my profile and put on their law enforcement. So that's great. You have a niche of people you can work with. Now you can find them on LinkedIn, whether it be I work with teachers, I work with, right? So you can actually do a search for those individuals and connect with them.
Yeah. I think also one other thing is that people, if you use LinkedIn, I think people look at you a certain way, like, oh, that's a professional. Like they use LinkedIn, you know?
Credibility up.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's I'm all into Facebook and Instagram and Snapchat. It's my thing. But when you add the LinkedIn to it, it's like, okay, yes, he understands social and where to have fun and whatever, but he also knows how to put on a suit once in a while, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like LinkedIn's like the suit social profile, you know? It's like the, it's different.
Totally.
Different party.
I like to see each of those platforms, Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, LinkedIn. I like to see those as different networking events. Mm-hmm. As an agent, you care about visibility. You want to be everywhere. So social networking allows you that opportunity without running yourself ragged from event to event to event. Now you have something added to really make the most of your networking efforts. So for example, you and I, we just spoke at Inman or whatever else we've done, the last podcast I did, I've gotten a lot of connection requests as a result. Mm-hmm. Some people were savvy enough to say, hey, I just heard you on Real Estate Uncensored, or hey, I heard you speak at Inman. Some people were savvy enough to do that, so I knew why they connected, but some people just sent the connection request, and that's fine. So it was my job to now, instead of running off to another networking event and starting cold and starting from scratch, I had to set aside time to engage the people on LinkedIn who reached out to me as a result of seeing me give a leveraged LinkedIn talk. So it's like really working that in your schedule and being smart. These are warm leads or warm connections. Talk to those people.
Yeah. It's funny. Sometimes people have just LinkedIn set up as an automated thing on their phone that you add a contact and request to LinkedIn. So I'll find that many times people will connect with me on LinkedIn that are maybe prospects of mine, that they automatically request a LinkedIn with me because I sent them an email, right? Yeah. They don't know if they're going to even use me or anything. They'd probably be uncomfortable knowing that they automatically sent me a LinkedIn request because I'm pitching them. But then once in a while, when I'm smart enough to respond back to that person and be like, thank you so much for connecting with me on LinkedIn. I'm so excited to be working with you. It all sounds like they're like, holy shit, wait a minute.
It's a real person.
Yeah, yeah, real person. And it changes the dynamics of the relationship because I'm thanking them for connecting with me. Meanwhile, I'm trying to pitch them in the first place. So it's fun if you start playing around with responding to new connections.
Totally.
Yeah, it's
totally.
fun.
And I mean, and the thing is, that whole responding thing, it carries over to all the platforms, all of them. And people, they find me on Yelp a lot. I hear a lot of other realtors say they get found on Yelp. Well, what do you do once you're found on Yelp? Don't just email and chat back and forth. Call them. Show them you're real and set yourself apart from the other people that they're interviewing.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I actually, I had a conversation with one of my agents this morning, and this guy, he is a solid agent. We were talking about sending video messages with a prospective client. And we're talking about what are the next steps, after you send somebody a video message or you send them a social message of some sort on some platform. He's like, well, what's the next step? I said, well, the goal is to get a conversation with them going, either on the phone or ideally in person. Or, if you're on Snapchat and you're videoing, but to having back and forth as close to live until you can actually get in real life.
Right.
Thing. That's what you're closing for. Social media is the networking party where you say, hey, I like you. Let's go sit together privately and have coffee and talk.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that responding's so simple, but so huge.
Oh my God. The what's that phrase? It's in the follow-up, right? It's all in the follow-up. And I have to say, for you, Michael, when you initially asked me to be on your podcast and then you sent me a live video message direct, I was like, this is cool. This is cool. We hadn't really talked on the phone or anything yet. So it's great to get a live video message and that let me know he's serious. This is real. This is going down.
Yes. And it went down. Boom. Well, listen, this has been really, really great. I hope that people take this as a wake-up call that it is important to utilize all the social channels that you can. You need to pay attention to where your people are and where your clients are and prospects are. But sometimes you might be surprised that they're in places that you didn't check, like LinkedIn. So you will be surprised, actually. Trust us.
You will. The people who are buying houses have jobs and they're on LinkedIn.
Exactly. That's a good one. That's a takeaway line. So, all right. Is there anything else that you would like to share? I was going to ask you, regardless, how people can contact you. What's the best way for people to reach you? Of course, if there's anything else you want to say, but thank you so much.
Yeah, no, this has been super fun. Yeah, you could totally reach out, send me a connection request on LinkedIn, shoot me a message. You can, if you're doing it on your mobile device, you can just type in my name, Italina, and just shoot me a message, or you just hit the connect button. And if you don't shoot me a message, I'm going to be like, hey, thanks for connecting. What made you want to connect, right? And that's when you can respond and we can chat. Don't be surprised if I call you. But so yeah, shoot me a connection request on LinkedIn. You can even call me 510-712-1918.
Fantastic. Can you repeat that number one more time in case people want to reach you?
Sure. That's 510-712-1918.
Awesome. What I think is really cool is that while this is a show talking about LinkedIn, at the end of the day, you're driving people to have a live conversation with you. And that's pretty fantastic that, you're not afraid to say LinkedIn is great, but guys, a phone call when I talk to you is better.
Like I said, all your things, your lead generation, your marketing, your relationship building tasks, it's a chair, and your chair is made up of several legs, and social media is just one leg of that chair. If you only have one leg, you don't have a chair. So social media is just one leg, and that allows you to make the initial connection, allows you to reach people that maybe you didn't meet at an event or you wouldn't have met because you're not in the same circles. So what's great is social media allows you to make that initial connection, but then you absolutely want to get it to a face-to-face, a live conversation, a phone call. You want to get it there.
Perfect. Well, thank you very much for being on the show. And this has been great. And I look forward to anyone listening and everyone that's going to be listening to take action here. So don't just listen, but take action. Go on to LinkedIn, see who's connected with you, respond to them, build relationships, connect with us, of course, on LinkedIn as well. If you'd like to connect with me, you can connect with me. I give you a couple of ways to connect with me. It's either Michael Meier NYC, in which you can reach me on Facebook. You can reach me on Snapchat. You can reach me on Twitter. And if you want to reach me on LinkedIn, you can actually reach me at Meier Group NYC, because I've had it for a long time. So thank you very much, and we'll be talking soon.
Yay.
Bye.
Bye, guys.